that comes up in us that robs us of the ability to submit? Let us see. Iblis did not submit. What was wrong with Iblis? Iblis was one of the proud ones. Uh-oh. That's a force that can mess up your life. Come on now. When you get proud. See? Somebody praise you. Oh, ain't you something, man? You. Sister, you so beautiful. Oh, I never seen anyone as beautiful as you. Before long, you begin to then you begin to look ugly and don't even realize how ugly you're looking, because real beauty ain't nothing on the outside. Real beauty comes from the inside, and the real thing, I mean, when you start getting ugly, I'm talking about your attitude, your mind, your spirit, you can destroy all the physical beauty that you have. And you can be an ugly person on the outside and be a beautiful person on the inside, and the beauty from the inside will actually restructure the ugliness on the outside. Now, I'm just telling you the truth. Yeah. Now, wait a minute. Some of you don't think that that's real. But let me tell you something. I've seen men that want to be women. Have you? Have you seen any? They want to be women so bad they think like women. They wake up in the morning. And after they think that way a long time, you look at them, they begin to look smooth, look cream puffy like, you know what I mean? Soft and sweetie like. You say, damn, I remember that nigga a few years ago, you know what I mean? That nigga used to lift pianos, you know what I mean? Look at him, he's just as sweet as he could be. Because thought is the power that changes physical reality. As a man thinketh, so is he. See that, brother and sister? Now listen, y'all all right? Now here's Iblis. This is a proud dude. God said to him, look here, man. What hindered you that you did not submit when I commanded you? This is God talking. I commanded you to bow down. Yes, sir. He said, well, I am better than he. What he said? I'm made of fire while he is made of dust. Now let's look at that. God asked him, what hindered you when I commanded you to submit? See, pride comes right up in your brain, and you can't even hear the command of God. Even though God called you and order you, you tell God, you know what I'm talking about? I can't hear you, because I'm better than this nigga you asking me to bow down to. And let me tell you something, brother and sister, that make a devil out of you quick. And that's why black folk don't ever succeed in organization. Because you always think you are better than those who have been elected or chosen to lead you. Look now, I'm better. Oh, hell, I graduated from Harvard. Even took a course at Scotland Yard. Who is this nigga that I should submit to him? Where's your credentials, nigga? Well, I just have a little word from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Honorable Elijah who? Yeah, I got to fix this tie. Well, I can't be raggedy. You know pride goeth before destruction. If I didn't fix it right, just help me. That's the mirror. Thank you, brother. I got a tan when I looked in that mirror, brother. Everybody, come on, let's finish this subject, because brothers and sisters, look. When you begin to think you're better than somebody, even if God order you to submit, you won't hear God. Pride is a very dangerous force that we all must learn to control, for it makes a devil out of you. And you know what makes pride? When you begin to think more of yourself than you should. You know, I mean, everybody wants to believe that there's somebody, and you are all very special. But you must leave the special place for God. See, and if you don't try to get in the center of everything, let God be God. Let him have his place. And you recognize that whatever your place is, he knows it better. So guide me, O Allah, to my place. Because I can only be comfortable in my place. But then suppose I want the uppermost seat in the house. See that seat there? That one is mine. Okay? Then God come in and assigns the seat to brother. Brother, sit down in this. What? God ain't got no sense. He can't see. Why, that nigga, I know him. And before you know it, you set yourself up to opposition. Now you've become Iblis. Iblis is only a proud, rebellious spirit, but now that spirit becomes Shaitan, Satan. Because now your evil is not confined to yourself, you're going to spread it around now. So then you go to somebody else. Now see? Look, wait. You see that person that's sitting in that seat? I'm going to tell you something about that nigga. I know. You understand? Why? He smokes reefer. Yeah. Well, I seen him downtown the other night. See, now the evil out of this comes out of pride, and then envy is making a devil out of you. Because now you're working actively against somebody in an evil way. This is not the way of righteous people. But that's put in the Quran to show you how men of power can fall. Now, brothers and sisters, we've had 400 years to live under white people. We know them pretty well. This is a wicked, jealous-hearted people. It's not their color that makes them that way. It's the way they were taught by Yacub. They were taught contrary to good. They were taught to exalt their color. They were taught to rule. They were taught never to submit to the darker people. And if you look at white folk, I mean, they can't stand to have a black foreman, a black boss. Nothing black over them. They'll work to tear you down because inside they were taught not to bow down to nothing black. And their whole religion, their education, their politics revolves around putting darker people under their foot. So when you go to Christianity that's taught by white people, even by black people that are under white people, Christianity is a slave-making religion. I'm not talking about the teachings of Jesus. This is a slave-making religion that is to make you bow down to a white God and a white Jesus, seeking a white heaven with some white angels, and you want nothing to do with your black self. That is racism in the name of religion. Huh? When you go to the public school, this is what you're being fed: the superiority, the supremacy of white people over all dark people of the earth. This is their educational system. It is Yacub's mentality, a mentality of ruling the supremacy of white people. This is evil. This is devilishment. Because if white folk are angelic and nothing dark is sacred, then it justifies killing Indians. We're doing God a favor, kill all of them. They're savages, they're heathens, kill them all. And so they can go into Africa. And because of the great wealth in the Congo, kill millions of our people because these are black niggers. They don't have any soul. Cortez and all of them going into Mexico, killing the Indians wholesale. They don't have any soul. And so the police can meet you tonight with just an excuse. He pulls out his gun and blows you away because we don't need no excuse to kill a nigger. They were made that way, brothers. That's the worst of yourself on parade. How do you like it? Do you like living under white people? How many of you would like to live under him another 100 years, another 1,000 years? Would you be happy? Well, if you wouldn't be happy living under white folk another 1,000 years, will you be happy living under the manifest evil of yourselves? Then you know a little more now. If this man came from us, he's the manifestation of something that is wrong with the original man. And so, listen to my conclusion. Jesus comes to make men whole. Boy, that's heavy. Jesus comes to heal on the Sabbath day. See, this Jesus is not a man 2,000 years ago. He's a man that comes at the end of the world, of the Caucasian. But more than that, he comes in the fullness of time because he's born out of the will of the originator who wanted to see man perfect. And here comes a human being born of a woman. And he masters all these forces by God's will and permission. And he grows and ascends into the heavens from death. It don't mean that he died and on the third day he rose again and flew all up in the sky, please. It means that you and I are dead to the real power that we have as human beings. You're not operating on the plane that you can operate on, so you're dead on that higher level. And this is why you say, heaven is my home. I'm going home. Home where? You ain't going in the sky, but you're going up to the higher regions of knowledge and power where you belong. You don't belong on this earthly plane. You got to get on up to higher ground. But that is not dying and flying away. It's taking on the wings of knowledge and coming out of a death-like state where the power of God that is within you is locked and buried. So Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Ain't no kingdom to come out of the sky. The kingdom is coming up out of you when you are made awake and aware of the knowledge of yourself, and you rid yourself like the parable of the wheat and the tare that seems to want to choke out the wheat. There's something in you that want to choke out the life of truth. It ain't nowhere else. It's in you. It's that pride. It's that vanity. It's that envy, that jealousy, that niggardliness, that desire to compete with God for the uppermost place, the uppermost seat. That's Satan working in you. That's Iblis that has become a devil. You got to choke it, pluck it up, pull it out. That's what the kingdom of heaven is. It's likened unto a man sowing seeds. And an enemy crept in the night and sowed tares in among the wheat. See? A man is coming and sowing truth into your heart to wake you up. And then from your own heart, here comes a whisper. You let that man take your reefers away from you, brother? I knowed I was coming in to hear Farrakhan rap tonight, and I had some crack in the glove compartment. His Farrakhan has talked me out of my crack. But the minute you get out the door, a whisper comes up from the heart. The hell he did. I'm gonna go and crack that glove compartment, and I'm gonna get me some crack tonight. I'll hear Farrakhan tomorrow. See, there's a whisper coming up from you. I know I'm wrong to want that brother's wife. I know I'm wrong to want that sister's husband. I know I'm wrong to want to do this to deprive my brother of honor. I know I'm wrong to envy him for whatever he has, but I just can't help myself. Oh, shut up! You can always help yourself if you want to. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you and I are worse enemies. Now that you know yourself and you know the white man, you shouldn't follow him. We can't follow white people, brothers and sisters. I listen to them preach on the radio and television. I listen to them. I get some things from them sometime. But I say, I can't follow you with your, you don't have the depth. You know, you trying to get the spirit that I'm born baptized in. I see you, you know, but I can't follow you. You've got to follow us today. You can't follow white people in their madness. You must follow God today. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, you know, there's so much more that could be said on this, but I think we've done enough for tonight. Yacub is real. He did make a devil, the white people. But the devil that he made is not the flesh. The devil that he made is the teachings that shape their mind. Their weak flesh and weak blood and weak bone only made them a better receptacle for weak ideas. But if you could kill the idea in their mind, that flesh would accept the truth. And that truth could make that flesh live. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yes, Master Farad Muhammad's mother is a white woman. The messenger never referred to her as a devil. His father worked with her, cleaned her up, made her ready to receive a seed that would bring forth a child of destiny. You and I are made of filthy people. But a work is being done on us right now to clean us up, to make us ready. Now look at you, mighty black people. The strongest of the strong. Look at what you've been through. From the beginning, you weathered the splitting of the moon. You weathered going down into the jungles of East Asia, and you mastered the jungles. And you were brought out of Africa into America and turned upside down. But look at you, you're still here, getting stronger every day. Now what God wants to do for you is to empty this old vessel out of the foolishness and filth of this world and deposit in your head supreme guidance and his own spirit. I am anxious to rebuild the nation of Islam. I cannot do it by myself. I need help. For the first 9 years of this rebuilding effort, it's been like a man going back into his mother's womb. I thought about that. You know, Nicodemus, you know, can a grown man return into his mother's womb for the second time? He can. But we returned into the womb of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for the second time. And into that womb, we started to grow again. And if you watch as the baby makes circuits while it's in the stomach, it's turning. And as it's turning, it's building, getting stronger and stronger. For 9 years, I made a circuit from west to east. I woke up in the west, I traveled to the east, backward and forward for 9 years. The last great trip I went from west all the way to Asia and back again to the west. And October the 7th, a birth took place. Brother Farrakhan actually was born on that night. The little fledgling nation of Islam was born on that night. And many people came to the birth. They thought it was just the birthday of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and a tribute to him, but they actually came to witness what had been destroyed come back again. Listen now. The laborers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad appointed me to sit in his seat in his absence. But they were not prepared to accept me, and the real truth was I was not prepared either to sit in the seat. So they rejected me, and in rejecting me, they rejected his intelligent knowledge of the future, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's knowledge of the future. So they went and did their thing, and as they did what they wanted to do, their world began to tumble, which was in fact the nation of Islam. It began to be destroyed. And we started 9 years ago, two of us, Brother Jabril and myself. And 9 years later, it's not accidental that I am now living in the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's not an accident. I came from nothing. God brought me and set me down in the palace of my father. Look at this now. And those that did not respect me watched me from a distance. They did not help me. They watched me. God had me growing and proving myself. The president attacked. The Congress attacked. The Jews attacked. The black leaders attacked. Farrakhan rolled right on over them. I mean, it's just true. It's true. Look, they thought they would have destroyed us by now, brother and sister. But if God be for you, who can be against you? That's the point I'm driving home. God was building me and preparing me for a job. On October the 7th, I came forward like any other baby. But I came forward with the crown of my father on my head. And the enemies that disliked my father and me, their hearts began to change. And they said, well, Farrakhan has certainly proved that he was the one that we should listen to, because he brought this thing by God's grace all the way back from nothing. But don't give me no credit. Because see, the credit really belongs to Allah. Because I was not conscious of one thing. I was like something in the womb. You heard me talking about in the womb, and nobody there with you but God. The head don't see the tail, and the tail don't see the head, and the ear don't see the eye. Everything just going on as it should be, because a mighty director is forming things. I'm just making circuits, going back and forth, you know, and you could tell something was going on. Now I've come forward now. The whole world is looking now. Wallace D. Muhammad, Imam Warifuddin, pardon me, came on October the 7th. I don't know what the government felt, but they must have said, good God from Zion. What is this? So they're afraid of Islam. And if this man and Farrakhan, these two hook up, and a good rapport comes between these two that we thought would surely kill each other, the future of Islam in America is exceedingly bright. That means our future is very dark. Now look, brother, they're thinking. I closed my speech talking about how I was taken up on the wheel and given a vision by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from the wheel of Reagan and his chiefs of staff, and they're planning a war. Now that was a vision given to me on September the 17th, 1985. September 1986, it breaks in the Washington Post, in the New York Times, that Reagan and the boys did meet to plan a war and a disinformation campaign. So my vision is corroborated as the truth. And Reagan knew the moment I said it, Reagan said, what? We know the wheel is real. You mean Elijah talked to that cat up on the wheel? Reagan, just like Nebuchadnezzar, called his soothsayers in. Tell me about this man Farrakhan. Is he a real thing, or he just some crazy nigga like the rest of these radical niggas that's out there? I mean, is he the real thing? Is God real? You see the white folk look like they backed up a minute. They only backed up to check their strategy. They haven't stopped thinking, because our presence is the end of their world. They're not making no peace with us. They're reassessing how to destroy us. They sent agents in among us. Oh, poor agents. You should be ashamed of yourself, being an agent for white folk in this day of enlightenment, working against your people. Some agent goes downstairs and busts our boiler. It's going to cost us $16,000 to put a new boiler in the final call building. Well, you happy? You say, well, they're spending more money. Good. The more we make them broke, we'll break them. How you going to break a man that got the hearts of the people, man? Please. $16,000 can't break these people in here, much less the people that's in the street. You just crazy, brother. Bust the valve on the gas, put a little wood in it, and then put black tape around it so gas will be seeping out slowly. Somebody in the building. Somebody that said they a Muslim or something. I mean, just devils. As fast as I try to get them in, there are people that drive them out. So look, it's nobody's fault. You know, I mean, I have to take complete responsibility for all of this. But what I'm going to suggest and say to you is this. Brothers and sisters, look. For 9 years, I've allowed all my helpers in truth to really do what was in their heart and mind to do in the way of helping me with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's work. And they did the best they could, some of them, and others took advantage of that. But for the most part, they did the very best they could. And it's wrong, you know. I mean, you know my spirit. You feel my spirit. You come here, you know that I love you. I mean, you just know that. But if you don't get that same feeling, that same spirit from others, it turns you away. You know, for 2 years, we've been trying to build a restaurant on the next block. This is the truth. If the man was here, he would have to confess. I literally cussed him out one day, the architect, not the architect, the construction man, and our business manager. I cussed so loud till you could hear me at the top floor, cussing down into the basement. But I told them, I said, man, you know, you all are working against me. I said, you hear me telling the people this, that, and the other? And it's as though my word don't have no meaning, that I'm just here talking and it don't ever come to pass. It undermines my own leadership. But God is so great. You know, he makes you to see, well, wait a minute, there's something more to this. And you be patient. And it's one thing or another. Finally, they got the permits. I don't know. They said it'd be up by February, but I'm scared to say that it will. I mean, when you got money and can't build, that's terrible. The banks ain't going to help us, but we don't need the bank. We our own bank, you know. But still, by the help of God, it should be up. But, you know, when a baby comes forth from the womb, what does it need? It needs help. It needs nurturing. And you don't have to worry about teaching the baby nothing. Because some other power is teaching the baby for that first year. And in the first 3 months, it demonstrates more growth than anything you've ever witnessed. And in the first year of its life, that baby learns to control everything that is its own, like its hands, its feet, you know. And then after nearly 2 years old, it gets control of all of its bodily functions, maybe 2 or so, where it will tell you, I need to go to the toilet, or I need to potty mommy, or whatever. That's control, isn't it? Well, the minister came to birth on October the 7th. And the first thing that the minister has to do is get complete and total control of the Nation of Islam, so that every aspect of the nation reflects his thinking, his spirit. Not that he is the spirit or the thinking that it should reflect, but he is from God. And I say that without making any apology. I am from God, not just say from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I am from God for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I'm not going to say this from my mouth. I'm saying it from his mouth, but I've grown to understand it. He told me one day, he said, brother, I did not make you. I said, oh, yes, you did. He said, no, brother, I didn't make you. I said, oh, yes, sir, the apostle, you did make me. He said, brother, who is the teacher here? I said, you, sir. He said, well, all right then. He said, brother, I taught you just like I taught every other minister. He never gave me any special teachings. He never took me aside in a corner and filled me up with any special knowledge of nothing. Because after Malcolm defected, he told me to my face, Malcolm would have never been such a formidable enemy to me if I had not taught him so much of the prophecies. He said, but I will never teach another minister like I taught Malcolm until I have thoroughly tried him. So he was letting me know that whatever I got, God would have to give it to me, because he wasn't going to give me nothing no more than he gave anybody else. So when he heard me on the tapes, putting the teachings together like God was guiding me to do, he told me, he says, brother, I didn't make you. God made you for me. So when I say I am from God and for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm not saying that in a vain way. And you can be like Iblis and say, oh, I'm better than that nigga. I know. I mean, look, there's a lot of you that know a lot more than I do. I know that. But that does not negate what I'm saying. What you know, you should help me with what you know, so that I can help the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to make this nation for all of us the way it should be. So I must get control of all of this. And the believers have done the best, but their service has not been the best. Their service in terms of putting out the tapes, putting out the work, in the labor, you know, it's just not been what it should be. And that's my fault. Because I didn't, you know, take them like a slave master and say, brother, do this, sister, do that. I was busy growing into this myself. So now that I've come to birth and I'm determined by the grace of God to get control totally of the nation, and they're not going to fight me to do that, because I earned the right. I earned the right to guide. And they know that, and they're not going to fight me for that. They're beautiful brothers and sisters. But I'm going to close down the Final Call building for a few weeks. And don't get upset now. I'm closing this place down, and I'm going to get it right for you. And the next time you come, and I open the doors, from the front door all the way to the back, when you come in, you will be happy. The way you are treated, the way you are handled, and it'll give us time to fix the boiler, but it'll also give us time to fix some heads that need some fixing. So as of today, there's one laborer in the nation, and that's myself. And all the rest of us, by the grace of God, I want everyone to please take guidance from us. And let's do this right for our people's sake and for our own sake. We can't do a sloppy job because this is too important. This work is too important. There are too many people depending on us. There's no place else for our people to go. I mean, there just is no place. And if we fail our people, brothers and sisters, and we send them to oblivion, because if the nation fails, then what is there for our people to look forward to? You have done well. Now, I'm not saying that you haven't done well. That's not the point. But we've got to do better. That's the point. The point is that the harvest of our people is ripe, but the laborers are few, and they're not worthy to reap the people. The people are ready. I mean, everywhere you go, the people want what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is offering. They want it, but they're afraid of being mistreated. They don't want to be mistreated. They don't want to be mishandled. They have their hang-ups, and we have our hang-ups. We can't be so hard on the people as though we are such perfect little lambs of God. Perfect little